Volume 4. Y'all ready? Come on, tune in, tap in, come on in. Y'all know what time it is. This time, this one right here, this one's specifically gonna be about when I caught my case and how the whole process happened. When you catch a case and you get locked up, you don't just go straight to prison. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go through the county jail. And depending on where you at, here in Michigan where I'm at, it's a 6-month process, you know. So this ain't nothing that's just about to happen overnight, you know. Take time with these type of cases. Tap in. We about to go up, tap in. I just came from outside. It's snowing here in Michigan, Detroit. I'm about 20 minutes outside of Detroit. It's called Metro Detroit, you know, one of the little suburbs in the surrounding city. So, yeah, it's snowing out here. Is it snowing where you at? Is it sunny where you at? Is it raining? What's going on? Drop it in the chats. Let me know something. Tap in. Tap in. Let's go. Where y'all at? About to go up. I'm about to break down this whole process of what happened to me and how I caught my case before I even went to prison. I ain't even gonna say nothing about prison this time. This is just gonna be from when I caught my case to the county jail till I got sentenced to go to prison. I'm gonna just tell y'all how all that went and what did happen since I've been in there. Tap in. Let's go. Tap in. All right. All right, let's get it. So, when I caught my case, right, which was carjacking / armed robbery, when I caught it, I had initially I had did the crime, and I got caught like a week and a half later, week and some change later. You know what I'm saying? And I got caught and got the drop on who had shot me up. So I went back on some revenge shit to go get them. Now, when I got shot 7 times. And I got shot in the finger, I got shot in the arm, and I got hit in my leg 5 times. So it was a total of 7 bullets. Now, out them 7 shots, they initially fired 9. It was 2 guys that came after me after I committed a robbery. That shit crazy like that in Detroit, you know what I'm saying? But when you banging out here and you got some real beef going on, niggas will catch you slipping while you in the middle of sticking some shit up. You know what I'm saying? Niggas caught me slipping. So anyway, they shot me up, bang, bang, bang. You know, they fired 9 shots in the car, 7 of them hit me. Drove myself to the hospital, saved my own life. You know what I'm saying? Now, this crime happened on the east side of Detroit. I drove myself all the way back to the west side because I was committing so many crimes on the east side. I didn't want to get caught up in them string of robberies because I was doing a lot of robbing over there at the time. You know what I'm saying? So I had to be smart about my play. And my legs bleeding like a motherfucker. I thought I was going to die in that car. You know what I'm saying? But God was with me, you know, and I made it. I drove myself to the hospital all the way to the west side, 3 in the morning, shot the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, I get out the hospital that same day. I ain't had to go through no major surgery, none of that. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't paralyzed, none of that shit. They gave me some antibiotics and told me to go home type shit. You know what I'm saying? So, cool. I get up out of there, right? About 2 days later, I get the drop on who it was that had shot me up and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, I call myself sliding back through there, you know what I'm saying, trying to get my revenge. You know, I couldn't find these niggas. I was in their hood for like a whole week. looking for them. I'm pulling up on their mans and them, everything. I'm like, hey, when y'all see our mans, let them know it's on the floor. Niggas got up out of town because they already knew how I was coming. You know what I'm saying? So I never bumped into these niggas, but I kept on being on some tough guy shit, riding through their hood, you know what I'm saying, trying to find them and shit. And it got me caught. I got caught in that same damn car I got shot up in when I committed the robbery. And all this shit was on tape. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't have my face on tape, but the fact that the shooting happened right after the robbery and the shooting happened in that car. You know what I'm saying? All that shit was on camera. So, they corroborated all that shit and that was that, you know. Now, this is the reason why I didn't get a lot of time because they couldn't put my face on the case. All they could do was match my blood through the ballistics that they took out the car and, my DNA and, all that shit went together. So they couldn't place me at the robbery, but they placed me in the vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. So I had to cop a plea. Mind you, I did all this shit on my own. I don't got no co-defendant, so it wasn't no telling on nobody, none of that dumbass shit. I did this by myself, committed my crime by myself. So like I said, about a week and a half later, the police ended up catching me over there on the east side. You know what I'm saying? The crazy thing is they had a whole nother car pulled over with their lights on and everything. I pulled up to this light and while they was sitting in their car, I guess writing a ticket on whoever they had pulled over or whatever, they looked over and they seen the bullet holes in my car door. You know what I'm saying? They instantly pulled off from that car. Came and jumped right behind me, right at the light. Like, they disregarded the person that they had pulled over. So the person that they had pulled over, it definitely was some petty shit. They just let them go. So don't ever think because a cop got somebody pulled over, they can't hop out and pull you over because that shit happened to me. You know what I'm saying? So when they jumped behind me, I'm like, damn, these motherfuckers on me. I already know what it is, So when the light took off, I took off on their ass. I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? I dipped on them. They chased me all through the hood, all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gone on them. Long story short, they ended up catching my ass, because they called all they boys on their intercom and shit. They had the helicopter out there. It got crazy as hell, because I wasn't trying to go to jail. I just got shot up and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to go to jail and I'm shot up. I could barely walk and, like, I'm good, but my body is still injured, from the shooting. Like, bullets ain't no hoe, you know what I'm saying? You don't play with that type of shit. So, when they pulled me over, they locked me up for the crime and all that shit. So soon as I came in, I was 21 at the time. I didn't know nothing about the seriousness of my crime. I'm thinking my crime's some bullshit because I ain't do nothing to the nigga. I just stuck him up and took his shit. I took his money and shit. So I thought the crime was some little petty shit, No. One of the most violent crimes you can ever catch. If you ever put a gun to somebody's face, you done. You might as well kill the nigga. You know what I'm saying? That armed robbery is just as serious as a murder. Okay. So after I get locked up, I'm sitting in the police precinct. Cause first you go to the precinct and then they transfer you to the county jail. So while I'm in the precinct, I'm in a cell with this other guy that been locked up. He been locked up 100 times, so he know how cases go and all this shit. So he asked me what I was in there for. I'm like, man, I had robbed a nigga, some little bullshit. He like, nigga, what? So I broke down, the whole thing. He like, man, you put the gun in his face? I'm like, hell yeah, that's how you rob a motherfucker. He like, bro, they about to cook your ass. I'm like, nah, I ain't about to get that much time. I ain't do nothing to him, I just robbed him. He like, no, nigga, that ain't how it go. You know what I'm saying? So he was breaking all that shit down to me. My heart sank. I was like, oh, hell no. I can't go to prison for no damn 20 years, He like, man, your best bet is cop out to like 15 to 20 or something. He like, whatever they come at you with, just go ahead and take that shit. I'm like, man, hell no, I ain't about to do no damn 15 years, for a fucking 30-second robbery. Like, that don't even add up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm young and shit. Like, I'm not about to throw 15 of my years away like that. Like, hell no. So, I ain't even gonna lie, he had me shook. I'm like, damn, this is what I'm facing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm asking the COs that's walking past. I'm like, hey, my crime really that serious? They like, hell yeah. You looking at some time. Man, I was so hurt. So you sit in the precinct for like a couple of hours. They got to process you and all that shit, and then they send you to the county jail. So when I got to the county jail, that's when they hit me with my paperwork and all that shit. They was telling me what I was looking at, how much time I'm facing, and all of that type of shit. And it said 0 to life. Those was my guidelines, 0 to life. So I can get sentenced from anywhere to I can go home today up until I can do the rest of my life in prison. It's all up to them and how they feel. This was my first felony. I only got one felony, which is that felony. This is my first ever felony. So I'm thinking I'm about to skate up out of there. My past convictions was misdemeanor traffic tickets. So that's all I had on my record was traffic tickets. I'm like, well, they gonna look at my record, they gonna see all I got is traffic tickets. They gonna let me go home, probably give me some probation. No, nigga, this is a violent crime. You looking at some serious time for this shit. So I'm sick. I'm in the county. All these niggas got all these serious cases and shit. They put you in the bullpen before they actually send you to a rock. A rock is basically a unit where you and like 10 to 15 other inmates is housed at. So I'm in the bullpen with all these niggas with all these high profile cases. And I'm asking them like, dog, they gonna cook me for this? What's going on? I'm letting them look at my paperwork. Man, everybody was just shaking their head. They like, man, you might as well just forget it. You about to go up top with us. Man, my whole world changed. I'm like, dog, I was just outside, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm looking at 20 years like, how the fuck did that happen? And this is another thing that I mean about the youngins. They don't know what they getting themselves into. You know what I'm saying? I was 21 and didn't even know what I was getting myself into. So these youngins that's 15 on up to 20, doing all this hood shit, thinking that, they bosses and they think they running something. Like, dog, y'all don't know. Y'all signing y'all life away. You know what I'm saying? That shit crazy, but that's exactly what you're doing when you commit them kind of crimes. You sending yourself up that way for a long ass time. But we don't know the laws in the hood. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know how serious that shit be. And while I was in there was so many people telling me like, man, y'all got to stop committing crimes and you don't know what type of time you're looking at. It was like before you commit a crime, you need to know how much time you going to get behind the crime that you commit. By this time, I'm like, man, it's too late. I'm already in here. You know what I'm saying? But just hearing that, like, made me say, damn, I got to stop this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because motherfuckers is getting some time for this shit. So anyway, fast forward to tape. I'm out the bullpen. I go to a rock. I'm on a rock now. The rock that I'm on, it was all Detroit niggas. I'm in Wayne County Jail. Wayne County Jail is in downtown Detroit. Wayne County Jail is off of Gratiot Road. Gratiot is the deep east side. But Gratiot is kind of like Woodward. It run a long ass way. Gratiot run all the way downtown. So with Gratiot running downtown and it sitting off sit off this freeway. I forgot what freeway it is. But Wayne County Jail is right off the freeway and Gratiot. You can't miss it. You see the barbed wire fences, all that shit. So basically with the county jail being in the center of Detroit, everybody from Detroit in there. Everybody from Detroit run Wayne County Jail. You know what I'm saying? So when I get up in there, I'm on the rock with nothing but Detroit niggas. All Detroit motherfuckers. From all type of hoods, all type of shit. So we all sitting in there kicking it, get to know each other, all that type of shit. Now the crazy thing is in the streets, when you gang banging, everybody against each other. But when you go to jail, it's like your city is all together. You know what I'm saying? So while we was in jail, we all together. Even though our hoods is initially beefing with each other, but we in jail. So we all cool, we all together and shit. Shout out to Claire Edwards for the love. Appreciate you. Shout out to Z Brown. Shout out, shout out. So while I'm on the rock, with my people, with the Detroit fam, we all cool. We getting to know each other and all of that. So everything's straight. So while we up there, this dude from Inkster ended up riding in, and he used to always get into it with one of my little homies, that was on the rock with us. And they ended up fighting and shit. I jumped in, I whooped the nigga ass type shit. So after I whooped him, the police, they had came in because, man, we stumped that nigga out and all that. It was crazy, So when that happened, the police had rushed in there and they had split us all up. Now, Wayne County Jail is two jails. You got the new side and the old side. The new side is for the guys that got like misdemeanors, they about to go back home and shit like that. The old side is for the guys that got high profile cases that ain't going nowhere. So initially I was supposed to go straight to the old side because I had a high profile case, but they ended up putting me on the new side. So when I went there, I'm thinking like, oh, they don't got that much evidence on me. I'm about to go home. I'm in here with everybody that is going home. Everything was straight, Right after I whooped dog and they moved us, I guess they re-looked at my paperwork. Like, hold on, this nigga wasn't supposed to be over here. No way. Boom, shot me to the old side of the jail. The old side looked like Al Qaeda. You know what I'm saying? Like old cell bars, tiny ass catwalk. It little bitty ass space to be in. It's way smaller. It's a way smaller space to be in than on the new side. Then you see rats and shit running around. You will see a roach here and there. The old side is bad. You know what I'm saying? The old jail, it been up and running for over 100 years. So it's old and tore down, and it ain't nowhere to be. So, speaking on that, I've been downtown recently, and they said they closed the old jail. So that just go to show you how bad the old jail is. They didn't close that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I got experience from being in the old Wayne County jail, and you can go ahead and Google it and all that shit. So why they sent me to the old side, it was a whole different vibe, man. It was crazy, man. So when I came through there, uh, I was in there with a bunch of guys that had murders, home invasion ones. Home invasion one, that's when somebody is in their house and you break in their house while they there. That shit is extremely violent too. That's as bad as a murder too. So, home invasion ones, armed robberies, carjackings, them are the top cases. So anyway, I'm in there with all these guys with murders and all of this shit. And like I said before, you never heard a grown man cry, until you be sitting there in the county jail with these guys, that's about to find out their fate. And that's when you hear a grown man cry. It ain't nothing like it, man. That shit is different. So anyway, while I'm in there, I'm hearing grown men cry left and right. It'll break your heart. It'll damn near make you cry. And I ain't gonna lie, it been times I didn't lay on my bunk and I didn't cry too, but I wasn't boo-hooing, tears just coming out my eyes and shit. Cause I was just sick that I put myself in this predicament, especially when I didn't even initially get caught on the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had got away. I could have went on by my life, but I was being bullheaded. I had to go get some get back and ended up landing myself in jail, type dumbass shit. So anyway, while I'm in there, I'm fighting my case and shit. I'm going back and forth to court. So while I'm going back and forth to court, they like, hey, it ain't looking good for you. You need to just go ahead and cop out to whatever the state is gonna offer you. They not offering you nothing right now, but when they do, you might as well take it. This is my lawyer telling me, you know. I'm like, man, I'm not just about to take anything. Like, we just gonna have to fight this shit. You know what I'm saying? So this probably like 2 months in, you know. By this time, I didn't went to court about 3 or 4 times. You know, they present all the evidence that they got on you and everything. Like I said, they ain't really had no evidence on me. It was just they did the ballistics on the car, and my blood was in the car, and I got shot in that car, and I was shot up. You know, so that's what they had on me. You know, so it was like I had to, take that much of the rap. You feel me? So, um, with that being said, they finally hit me with a plea. My first plea agreement was 20 years. No lie. They came at me with 20 years. They told me to cop out to a 20 piece at 21 years old. So I would have been 41 when I got out. I'd still be in there to this day. You know, I'm like, man, hell no, I'm not taking all that time. Y'all are crazy. Like, the fuck I look like copping out to 20 years, especially when y'all ain't even catch me doing the crime. My lawyer like, look, you got shot in the car. It ain't no way around it. You just might as well go ahead and take it. I'm like, look, fuck you. I'm firing your ass. So I fired my lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Um, when you go to court, you gotta, file a motion to fire your lawyer. You can fire up to 3 lawyers, on your case. So you can get 3 different lawyers, and you could just fire their ass all the way up to your third one. By the time you get to your third one, you got to keep that one. So all right, fire my first one, got him up out of here. When you fire your lawyer, it kind of drag your case out a little bit too, because they got to rescreen, reprocess shit. They got to, put a new lawyer on your case. And, it's a process. So your shit kind of drag out a little bit. All right, lawyer number two. So lawyer number two come in, and he like, man, he said the same shit. He like, it ain't looking good for you. He like, you need to just go ahead and cop out to whatever they gonna come at you with. So I'm like, all right, what they coming at me with now? So he did his work. He like, I'm gonna take about 2 weeks. Give me about 2 weeks, and we gonna figure out the best deal we can for you. I'm like, all right, cool. So 2 weeks later, he come back. He like, yeah, man, this is what they offering you. Slid me the paper. I looked at it. It was 5 years. So it went from 20 years to 5 years. 15-year difference. I'm like, y'all don't got enough on me. How y'all just go from 20 years to 15? 20 years to 5, made a damn 15-year difference. How the fuck did that happen? He like, look, man, I'm just a better lawyer. So, I did what I could, but it ain't gonna get no better than this. So you might as well cop out, blah, 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 all of this shit. I'm like, you know what? Give me a couple of days, because you could have your people call your lawyer, and your lawyer can come back to court, come back to your jail cell where you at, and come talk to you about, how you feel about your case, shit like that. So I'm like, give me a couple of days. I have my people call you. He like, all right. So I went back to the cell. Everybody in jail is fucking jailhouse lawyers. So everybody telling you what to do, what not to do, all that type of shit. So I go back. I'm like, look, man, they came at me with my second Cobbs. It's called the Cobbs agreement. I'm like, they came at me with my second Cobbs agreement. The second Cobbs agreement was 5 years. They like, 5 years? They like, they just offered you 20. I'm like, I know, they just came back with 5. They like, look, man, go to trial, fight that shit. You know what I'm saying? They evidently don't got nothing on you if they just went from 20 to 5, because they don't just do shit like that. I'm like, well, I'm gonna just have to take it there, It is what it is. So that's what was on my mind at this point, I'm like, I'm gonna just have to take it to trial. We just gonna have to fight it, So when I seen my lawyer, he like, yeah, you ready to sign the Cobbs agreement, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not signing this shit. I'm like, I'm just have to go to trial, Y'all just gonna have to convict me the long way if we gonna do this, because, Y'all just went from 20 to 5. You know, like that don't even add up. What the fuck I look like going from a 20 piece to 5 and I just accept it. You know what I'm saying? Evidently y'all don't got enough on me. So we gonna have to go that way. This lawyer said, I don't want to go to trial. I just want you to go ahead and cop out so we can get this over with. That's how you come at me? Okay. I was like, cool. I'm like, I'm gonna cop out to it. I'm like, just wait till we get to court. You know, I'm gonna sign it there at court, you know. He like, all right, cool. So I got him thinking I'm gonna cop out to this 5 years. We go to court, fired his ass. Fired his ass at court. He was sick. Like, damn, this nigga just fired me. He thought he was about to get off, you know, a quick ass conviction. You know, he thought he had me. I smoked that nigga too. Get up out of here. Fired. So after I fired the second one, the judge was like, well, what you gonna do? You already fired 2 lawyers. You only got one more coming. So, you know, what you plan on doing with your case? I'm like, I'm gonna just go to trial. So the judge like, you sure you want to take this to trial? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna just have to go to trial. Because y'all went from 20 to 5. Y'all evidently don't got much on me, you know, and y'all not trying to come with nothing less than that 5 years. Because my thing was I'd take a year, you know, maybe 2. But I'd take a year, you know. They wasn't trying to go that low. 5 was they low end, you know. So I'm like, yeah, we just gonna have to go to trial. Y'all gonna have to spend people tax money, you know, we gonna have to waste the court's time. It's gonna be what it's gonna be because I'm not about to cop out to this 5 piece after y'all just came from a 20. It's just not happening, you know. So they like, all right, nah. I told y'all a little bit about the court, okay, court procedure. Let me tell y'all how it was in jail. So again, this back to the old side of the jail with all the high profile people, you know what I'm saying? And these guys is cutthroat, you know. So I was in there with this guy named Squirt. Squirt was a crazy ass young nigga, man. He had 11 bodies. He didn't kill 11 people. And he didn't mind talking about it. He always was telling us about all the people he killed. And he was showing us his paperwork. He had killed 11 people. He got tried 11 times for all 11 murders, and he beat all 11 murders. Crazy. Like, I ain't never heard of that shit. But he was showing us the paperwork. He beat every damn murder he had, you know. So he was feeling confident. You know, he was on his 12th murder. You know what I'm saying? He feeling real confident. What up, my boy? Anton in the house, the equalizer. What's up, my baby? Yeah. So the nigga Squirt was on his 12th murder. And he felt like he was just gonna beat that shit, you know? So he in there on tip. You feel me? He doing the most for no reason. You know what I'm saying? He in there socking niggas and they shit, all type of shit. He just didn't give a fuck. Squirt was a wild ass nigga, you know. And Squirt had a homeboy in there named Bud, a nigga named Eastwarren Bud. Y'all could look him up too. You know, they what was their crew called? Eastwarren niggas. I can't. Boss Hog. That was the name of their crew. Boss Hog. Eastwarren Boss Hog. And then Bud was the top guy from the Boss Hog crew. You know, Squirt and Bud was like best friends. You know what I'm saying? Bud was in there calling shots. And Bud had a high profile case too. He had killed somebody, you know, with his homeboy. And his homeboy told on him. So the homeboy ended up getting 30 years and Bud was awaiting his time what he was gonna get. So anyway, while we on the rock, Bud had a problem with one of the dudes that was on our rock. So he telling Squirt about it. Man, Squirt ran up on dog. Wow. Just dropped his ass. He went to sleep. I'm like, what the fuck was that? You know, like Squirt was a real send-off. You know what I'm saying? And he was dick riding Bud real tough. Cause Bud had a name out here in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So I guess he thought if he dick ride Bud, you know, he gonna get some commissary out the nigga or something. I don't know. But he was in there dick riding and shit. out of Bud, you know. So he knocked Dog out for him. Dog finally woke up like a couple minutes later. He finally woke up. And we all just, you know, on the catwalk looking at him like, damn, you got knocked the fuck out. And Squirt was a real skinny ass dude. He wasn't no big ass, you know, action figure looking motherfucker. He was a little skinny ass nigga. And he knocked Dog out. So when Dog got up, he got to hitting the bars because you can hit the cell bars. You know, when you hit the cell bar, like doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo, and make a loud ass noise. So he went up to the cell bars. He just hit him like, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo, doo. Hey, Deb. He hollering, broom, broom, Deb. So the Debs finally come in, and they like, you know, what's up? He like, man, I got knocked out. I don't know what happened. I just got knocked out. So they opened up the bars and shit. They put him in the handcuffs, took him out of the cell. Cause, you know, it ain't no special treatment in jail. You know, even if you the victim in that bitch, you still gonna get cuffed up. You know what I'm saying? So they cuffed him up, walked him up out of there. Never seen Dog again. So after that, Squirt got all these murders. Then he just knocked this nigga out. So Squirt really feeling himself, you know. So he just on Bud head, like, you know, I just did that one thing for you, you know. Why don't you put something on my books? You know what I'm saying? Put something in my cell. Look out for me. Blah, 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 blah. So Bud fucking with him, you know. They doing their thing. It was a dude named J-Rock that was on the rock with us too. And J-Rock fucked with me, you know. So me and J-Rock was real cool. Long story short on all that, Bud had a problem with J-Rock. So what Bud do? He seeing Squirt off, you know. Squirt really didn't want to get involved in that because he knew I was gonna get in that, and he didn't want no problems with me type shit, you know. So they deal was Bud fight me and Squirt fight J-Rock. I'm all with it, you know what I'm saying? Long story short on that, them niggas didn't want no smoke. They ain't, you know, they wasn't with it. They was just talking, you know, cell block talking, trying to hype some shit up. But when the time came, niggas ain't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So guess what these niggas did? And like I said, I'm calling people out by their real names. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't making up no shit. Guess what these niggas did? These niggas flew a kite to the depths and got me kicked off the rock. They flew a kite to the depths and got me kicked off the rock. Said that I was bullying everybody and all this whole ass shit. And I was pretty much bigger than everybody. So when the police came and got me, I'm like, you know, what the fuck y'all moving me for? You know, and that's when they told me. They were like, hey, you know, somebody in there shot a note, said you was bullying everybody. We gotta get you up out of here. They like, look at you bigger than everybody. You probably was in here bullying motherfuckers. I'm like, man, that is crazy as hell. You know what I'm saying? They really didn't want that smoke. They shot a kite on me, you know? So I got sent to another unit. All right. I'm in another unit now. This next unit this next rock that I'm in, it's this older guy. He probably was like in his 50s at the time, you know. He had been in there for a long ass time too. He been fighting his case in the county for like 2.5 years. You usually don't even fight your case in the county that long. But for some cases, you can be in there a good 3-4 years, depending on, you know, what's going on with your case. So he been in there about 2.5 years, you know, so he felt like he was a veteran. He know what to say, what to do, blah, blah, blah type shit. So me and him get to kicking it. You know, I told him about my case, showed him my paperwork. He like, look, man, if you want to beat your case, this is what you do. I'm like, what's that? So he like, what you do is you shoot a kite to the police, you know, to the depths and shit. He like, shoot a kite to them and tell them you feeling suicidal. You know what I'm saying? He like, that's all you got to say. Just tell them you feeling suicidal. I'm like, what type of shit is that? What the fuck is that gonna do for me? He like, look, man, if you tell them you feeling suicidal, what they'll do is they'll shoot you to the Bam Bam rock. Bam Bam is the psych rock, the crazy rock. You know what I'm saying? Where all the crazy people at. He like, when they shoot you to Bam Bam, they'll put you on these psych meds. and you would have them psych meds on your detail. So when you go to court, the judge will see that you on psych meds because you ain't in your right mind, and they basically write it off and say that you can't stand trial, so you will beat your case that way. So he told me I need to go to Bam Bam and get on these psych meds. This is how I'm gonna beat my case. I'm like, that's some wild shit. You know what I'm saying? He like, listen. He like, nigga, I ain't gonna lie to you. You want to beat your case, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to go to prison. So, what I do? I shot that kite. I like, hey, I'm feeling suicidal. Gave it straight to the cop. The cop came walking past doing his round. I gave it to him. Boom. He opened it up. As soon as he opened it up, he hit the bars. He put me in the cuffs, sent me up to Bam Bam. When it's playing just like the old school guy told me. So I get up there to Bam Bam, right? Yeah, I did some wild shit. I was trying to beat my case. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to go to prison. So I go to Bam Bam, and before they accept you into the Bam Bam unit, you got to talk to a psych coordinator. So they had me sitting in the cubicle with the damn coordinator, and the motherfucker asked me all these questions and shit. Like, do you feel like killing yourself? Do you feel like hanging yourself? All them type of questions. So he ran down like 30 questions, and I'm basically played the game to every question. Like, yeah, I want to kill myself, and I ain't in my right mind, and all that shit. So he like, all right, you check out, go to Bam Bam. They put me on the Bam Bam floor. Oh my God, what an experience! You don't know nothing about jailing if you haven't jailed on the psych ward floor. They have their own floor. They are not with general population. They have their own floor, their own rocks. They got their own shit because they can't be with general population. They freak out and knock somebody's head off. You know what I'm saying? Beat them, bitch your ear off, all type of shit. Like, they crazy for real in the psych ward. So when they send you to the psych ward, they put you in a cell by yourself with the light on. The light be on all day, all night. The light don't go off. So they put you in that cell for 24 hours to watch you to see what you gonna do. And this is how they evaluate to see if you really crazy or not, because they know what the crazy people would do in that cell by themselves. Well, I failed, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't no crazy person. So I went in the cell, I went in there and I slept. I slept the whole time I was in that motherfucker. And they knew I wasn't crazy, but they was watching me type shit. So after I did my 24 hours in the cell by myself, they let me out that cell, and then they put me in general population with the psychs. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm in the cell with a damn psych head. Them people is crazy, for real. They stink. They don't take showers. They don't brush their teeth. You know what I'm saying? All they do is eat and holler and scream and, twist their hands. And, them people is crazy, man. And most of them be having crazy ass cases like killing motherfuckers, doing shit to kids. They be doing some crazy shit, man. It's a whole different world when you in there with real psych heads that's really on psych medicine. You know what I'm saying? Them people different, man. They really is different. And I see exactly why they had their own floor, because they just different, bro. So I was on Bam Bam for about 2 weeks. And I ain't gonna lie, I had my fist balled up the whole 2 weeks I was there. Just in case a motherfucker tried something slick, I was ready to swing on the motherfucker. While I was there, just so happened a guy from my hood was on Bam Bam, but he wasn't crazy either. He was up there playing his role too. So me and him got cool. We on the side kicking, watching all the other Bam Bam motherfuckers walk into walls and bang their head on the glass and all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So he like, look, man. He like, I've been up here for a few days now. He like, they know you ain't crazy. they about to kick your ass up out of here. He like, they about to kick me and you up out of here. I'm like, straight up. He like, yeah, but he like, the good thing is they already prescribed you your medicine. Cause I told him about my case too. So he like, the good thing is they already prescribed you your medicine. So you can take that to court, and use it, when you go to court, when you go to trial and shit. I'm like, big, cool. So fast forward the tape, they finally let me out of Bam Bam. Man, I damn near kissed the ground because Bam Bam is not it. Like I said, it smells so bad. The only good thing about being on Bam Bam is you would get 2 trays. You know what I'm saying? They'll feed you good up there, but man, you constantly watching your back. You think you watching your back in regular jail. You really got to watch your back in Bam Bam. You know what I'm saying? So while they let me out of Bam Bam, they put me back on regular general population, with the regular people. So I get back on GP, general population. I'm back on GP, and what happened? It's time for me to go to court again. So I had about a week before I had to go to court. And I'm on the phone talking to my people and shit. They like, well, what you gonna do? I'm like, shit, I'm about to go to trial. I'm about to get my third lawyer. I'm about to just go ahead, go to trial. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna have to rock it out. Well, my daddy wasn't feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I had a real daddy that really was there for me. I wasn't no spoiled kid at all. You know what I'm saying? But my daddy came through this time because he ain't want me to get fried. Because if I would have went to trial, I would have lost and I would have got like 30 years or something. You know what I'm saying? So my daddy stepped in at the last second. He like, look, man. He like, I know you going hard for your case. You've been putting your work in on it. You really believing in everything. But he like, look, man, you gonna lose if you go to trial. So he had got me a lawyer. He paid 10 bands for a lawyer. I ain't had no money at the time. So he had paid 10 bands and got me a lawyer, right? So I get this lawyer, my third lawyer. The third lawyer come in. Now I'm just telling y'all what happened, but my daddy didn't tell me all this. You know what I'm saying? So the lawyer come in, they call me out. I go sitting there with this lawyer, the third lawyer. I'm thinking this the one that the court appointed me, but this is the lawyer my daddy got me. So when I go sit down with this lawyer, it was a black guy. He like, listen, man. He like, my dad. He said, your daddy sent me here, and he was like, I'm the best thing you gonna get, and this is the best it's gonna get for you. He like, your ballistics is in that car. Well, they did the ballistics on you, and your DNA is in that car. So it ain't no way around it. So he like, look, he like, this is what I could do for you. I can get you 2 years. You got to cop out to 2 years. At that time, my damn near had 6 months in. So he was like, just take 6 months off of that 2 years. You will do a year and a half, and then you'll be out. I'm like, well, my daddy paid for this shit. He got me a lawyer and everything. I can't go against it. So I'm like, all right, come on, run it. I didn't even want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But it was the final straw before trial, and I ain't want to go to trial and go to trial and get cooked, to be honest. So I had just copped out. I was like, all right, fuck it. So I signed the agreement. It was 27 months. It was a 27-month agreement. I signed it, right? All right. So now I'm back to court. I go to court. It's time for sentencing. I go up to get sentenced. Now, mind you, just because you get an agreement, a college agreement, that don't mean that the judge got to go by the agreement. So just to say, if your lawyers and the prosecutors decide they want to give you 5 years in prison and you want to take the 5 years, well, you still got to go to the judge and be sentenced for that. You can cop out to that, but that don't mean that's what the judge gonna go with. So when you go to court, you could cop out to 5 years, but the judge can be like, hell no, this ain't enough time. You gotta do 15. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't cop out to 5, but you ended up getting 15. That shit happened like that. So when I went to court, I'm up there to plea out to this 27 months. And the judge was like, nah, that ain't enough time. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do some more time. My heart dropped. I'm like, oh, I'm about to get cooked. You know, long story short on that, the judge ended up giving me 4 years. So the judge doubled it from the 2 to the 4. I didn't want to do that shit either, but it wasn't gonna get no better than that. So I went from a 20-year cop to a 5-year cop to a 4-year sentence. It just wasn't gonna get no better than that. And I already had 6 months in, so I had 3.5 left to do. Well, that's just what it was. And right after they sentence you, you ride out the very next day. You know what I'm saying? They don't keep you in the county jail. After you get sentenced, your ass ride out the prison the very next day. So when I got sentenced to 48 months, you know, they rolled me out the very next day. So I came back to the unit. I showed everybody the paperwork. Yeah, I got 4 years. Everybody like, nigga, you got off. You know what I'm saying? On a carjacking. You got 4 years on a carjacking? And at that time, that was right before they started frying everybody on them carjackings. Like, people was getting 15 or better, like right after my case. So I caught my case at a good time. It wasn't no face to my case. It was just, my DNA matched the damn crime scene type shit. So I just had to take what I had to take. And the judge told me, at sentencing, the judge was like, it's a good thing that, you took your college agreement. Because he was like, if you would have went to trial, you would have lost. And he was like, I would have gave you 25 to life. So I would still be in prison to this day. To this day, if my daddy didn't give me that motherfucking lawyer. Because I would have got lawyer number 3 from the court. And they would have been on some whole shit. And I was like, yeah, fuck you too. We gonna go to trial. And I would have got 25 to life. I'd still be in prison to this day. So, man, my daddy, a hell of a motherfucker. And he is a big part of the reason why I am such a great daddy to my kids. He really was a great father, to me, for me. And I pay it back in my kids. I'm a single father to my kids, and I'm just happy I'm here, because I could have been doing a lot of time for some shit I ain't even get caught on. It was just, I was on some revenge shit, and it spent the block on me. I'm thinking I'm about to spend the block on somebody, and that shit spent on me. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said before, prison is a tool that a lot of guys need to go through and they need to learn, to understand the importance of freedom. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't understand how valuable your freedom is, because you've been free so long. You wake up every day and go to work and do whatever you want. So you just thinking in your mind that, whatever, this is just life. Like, nah, your freedom is a privilege. It really is a privilege. And they showed me that for real. And, courts, they don't have no mercy on you. They don't give a fuck because, you really didn't really get caught on that many crimes or none of that shit. They don't give a fuck, man. They'll book the shit out your ass and you go to jail for life. They don't care. That shit ain't gonna sit on their conscience like, damn, I sentenced him to 30 years. Like, I need to go back on that and let them out. Like, man, they don't give a fuck. They whack your ass and move right on to the next case, So you ain't shit to them. They don't give a fuck. So with that judge telling me that I was lucky for, getting a lawyer that I got, and I copped out on time because I would have got cooked for real, man, I just gave all praise to my daddy. Like, man, he came through and saved me. So I'm like, well, I just got to chalk it up and go do my time. So I went off to prison and I went to go serve my time. And 2 years into my bit, my daddy died. He died while I was in prison. Crazy. But he died naturally. He died in the bed with my mama. Now, my mama didn't die, so just so you know. It was just, he was in the bed with her. And I don't know if I told y'all, but my mama and daddy, they been married since I was a kid. I was a part of their wedding and everything. So I grew up with both of my parents in the same household, married, all of that shit. They wasn't, what can you say, like no upskill motherfuckers or nothing, but they did what they was supposed to do to make sure that I had a good life. You know what I'm saying? And I was still in the streets anyway. I ain't give a fuck. So it took for me to go to prison to understand, the type of freedom that I was taking advantage of. Like, this shit serious, and these people will book your ass and they don't give a fuck about your life, you know. So it took for me to really go through that to understand that type of shit. So while I was in there and I lost him, he had a heart attack in his sleep, and he just passed away. You know, he was just sitting up kicking it with her and everything. Everything was fine. I talked to him that same day too. You know, and he laid down to go to sleep, and he didn't get back up. You know, that's just all that was to it. So I definitely was sick about it because I couldn't go to his prison. Damn, go to his prison. I couldn't go to his funeral because in prison, in Michigan prison, I don't know in different states, but in Michigan prison, you don't get no pass to go to your people's funeral. You know what I'm saying? When you in Michigan prison, you done. So whoever you lose up in there, you lost them. You know what I'm saying? You just gonna have to hear everybody crying over the phone about it. It ain't no going to your mama's funeral or your daddy's funeral or none of that. So that's another reason why, you need to keep your head on the swivel when you out here committing crimes, because if you get sentenced to some time and you go do your time, you gonna lose somebody while you in there. You know what I'm saying? Even if you get 3 years, you gonna lose somebody. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit happened within a couple of years. So you gonna lose somebody, you know. And it could be somebody real close to you, like your mama, your daddy, your favorite auntie, your favorite uncle, your cousin that you always with. It could be anybody. And within that 4 years, I lost like 5 people. You know what I'm saying? 3 of them was real close to me. And the 3 people that was real close to me, I lost all of them in the same year, 2013. I came in 2011 and I got out 2015. So halfway into my time, I lost 3 major people all in the same year. So 2013 was a fucked up year for me. I lost 3 close hitters, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't nothing I could do but do my time. So when I got out, them 3 people I was real close to, they was gone. I just had to carry on with life. And when you in prison, man, you can't be in there just crying, you know? Because niggas see you in there crying and shit. It don't matter if you lost somebody real close. Niggas see you in there crying, they gonna look at you like you sweet. So you gotta do that shit in private. You gotta go in your cell, you gotta put the sheet over your door, and all of that just to let out a cry. Cause niggas real life gonna try you. If they see you in there crying, they gonna look at you like you a little bitch or something. Alcohol, man. So you gotta be careful with committing these crimes, man, cause you definitely gonna lose somebody while you in there. For real. Savetsky, bro, you really look like Luca. Who the fuck is that? I don't even know who that is, but hey, that's cool. you know. But yeah, man. Just bottom line, if you out there committing crimes, just stop today. Call it quits today. Especially in today's world. You know what I'm saying? Uh Today's world, the technology is so fast and there's so many cameras everywhere. It's like you gonna get caught. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no point of committing crimes no more. Back then, you could commit crimes because it wasn't, the technology wasn't that great. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't like that back then. But today, man, it ain't even worth it, man. And if you don't believe me, go on search your YouTube and just pull up, cases. You're gonna see a million and one cases, and you're gonna see how people got caught because of today's technology, man. So if you out there committing crimes, put the brakes on that shit. Savinsky, he is an NBA player, bro. Hey, look, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't even be watching basketball no more. That shit is so watered down. I don't even like it. So yeah, I don't even know who the fuck that is. I ain't watched basketball in a couple of years. For real. The equalizer. Keep your head up. Keep your head on the swivel while committing these crimes out here. Hey, real talk, my boy. Hey, that's 100, man. Cause you get caught, your ass gonna get cooked, man. And especially if you got a background, they gonna use that shit against you. You know, they use everything that you ever did in your life against you, even juvenile shit, all that. So don't think because you got something expunged while you was a juvenile that they ain't gonna use that against you, man. They gonna use that shit against you. Yeah, it don't show up on your record, for you to look up, but it's still on their record. You know what I'm saying? So when you go to court, they gonna flip them papers like, yeah, remember what you did when you was 15? Yeah, we gonna use that against you. Even though it got expunged and everything, but we still gonna use that against you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they got a scoring grid, where depending on what the crimes and shit that you caught, they score you, and the scoring grid it go up and down, left and right, and all that shit. That's how they play it. That's their system and shit. But the more crimes you commit, the higher your scoring grid go, and the higher your scoring grid go, they got like I don't know how to put it, but it's kind of like damn man, I don't even know how to put the shit, but it's basically some paperwork of all the time that you can get for your crime, and depending on where you score it, that's where they place you at on how much time you gonna get. So yeah, you better be careful with these crimes, thinking you just gonna do some shit because you got some shit expunged when you was 15 or something. Like, man, hell no, they'll bring that shit back up on you, and even if they don't say nothing, they gonna score you off of it, and it be something that got expunged off your record 10 years ago, but it scored so high because it was a high crime. You know what I'm saying? And just that crime alone that already got expunged off your record, that shit alone give you some time because it scored so high on their scoring grid. So you got to be careful with that shit, man. But anyway, bottom line is just stop doing that shit. For real. Just stop doing that shit. Like I said, I committed 100 crimes and only got caught on one. On one. Only one. And I did so much shit all around Detroit. East side, west side, left, right, up, down. I done did shit all over the motherfucking city. No lie. And never got caught for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then the one time I do get caught was because I was cocky with it. Because I had got shot up. I thought I was Tupac out here. I'm just being cocky with this shit. When I was supposed to go lay low and chill at the crib, kick my feet up and watch some TV and be happy that I was alive. But no, I'm out here in the streets looking for revenge. And that shit booked my ass. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing. Don't think because you got away with a crime that shit can't spin a block on you, because it can. And more than likely it will. Especially if you still sidelining that play like I was. I wasn't supposed to be in that car. If I wasn't in that car, I would have never got caught up on that case. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that I was still in that car, that shit came back and haunted me. You know what I'm saying? So bottom line is, you don't want to go through these court processes. You don't want to have to deal with none of that. You a human being. I don't care how tough you is. You as a human being, you want your freedom. And the way to keep your freedom is stay out these motherfucking streets. It ain't the streets' fault why you do what you do. But you being in the streets, you having that mentality is what's going to cause you to lose your freedom. I'm telling you, man, stay on out the way. It's about to be 2025. It's time to do things different. Get your money up, get out the way, Take care of your kids. That's all that's going on. All that street shit dead, man. It's been another episode, live stream or roll up a pull up. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured.